trying to get comfortable. I think this is comfy. This is comfy. I'm so comfy. Hello everyone out there. How's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is kind of just a fun, casual, lighthearted one. I'm going to be sharing with you my 2021 favorites. So I did this last year at the end of 2020. I shared my 2020 favorites because favorites videos used to be pretty popular on YouTube. I used to do them every couple of months where I would share some of my favorite things. But you know, kind of stopped doing that on my channel. But I thought it would be fun to do kind of like a roundup, like a year's worth of my favorite things like I did last year. So this is my 2021 favorites. And these videos are kind of fun to film because I can just sit down. I don't have any sort of, you know, detailed outline of what I need to say or want to say. I'm just gonna sort of chat with you and we can hang out and it's gonna be fun. Is my microphone plugged in? Yes, it's plugged in. Okay, we're good. So I originally kind of have categories of things, some like life stuff, some like physical things that I've been loving, but also just things that I've learned as well. So not just like physical items, it's just a whole array of things that I've loved and learned from this past year. So yes, I think that is it for this little intro. Is there anything else I needed to say? I don't think so. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you're excited about the new year. I certainly am. And let's get started. So diving right in, I'm just going to start with the big things that 2021 comprised of. And that would be, firstly, getting married. I got married this year in June. And that was, hold on, just my laptop screen is turning off. That was such a, you know, big part of this year was marrying Sean, and it was so special, and we had a lovely backyard wedding at his parents' place, and yeah, I just have really lovely memories of that day. The day went so smoothly. It was a small, intimate gathering, but yes, getting married, of course, was such a big part of this year. I do have our wedding video up on my channel, as well as a video where I talked about kind of how we had a small wedding and what our expenses were. If you're curious about that, I'll leave those linked below. But another enormous thing that happened in 2021, specifically also in June, was that we moved. We bought our very first house actually in April, but we moved into this house in June, and that in and of itself was obviously huge, right? Buying your first house is huge, especially when you move into a house the same week that you're getting married. But just on so many levels, it was so special. It's such a dream house living here, and in so many ways, moving here and settling in and making this space our own has just really helped me to feel so much more settled and just kind of content in life. Like, I feel so good. For a long time, I wasn't totally feeling settled or at home. We were renting in a couple different places, and even just, I feel like I've moved so many times in my life, but I finally feel so settled. And even just with house stuff, with just that alone, there's so many like favorite things I could talk about. The heat just turned on. Sorry if you can hear that. That's really annoying me right now. I hate when that happens. I could go turn it off, but then I have to disconnect my microphone in order to reach the thing. We've done a lot of updating to the house since we moved in. We painted the kitchen, or I painted the kitchen cabinets, which is great, really freshened them up. I have a whole video on how I painted the wood cabinets, so you can check that out. But we've painted our bedroom, the bathrooms, we've changed out some of the light fixtures. We got a lovely new rug for the living room, and it's really been nice to kind of just make this house our own and to just feel more at home. Those have definitely been some of my favorite things from this year, of course. My next favorite thing from 2021 would be our new car, another really huge thing. So I sold my car a few years ago, as I've talked about here and there. When I moved downtown in with Sean, when we were living there, I didn't really need a car there, so I haven't had a car in quite a few years, but we, where we're living now, we needed to get a car, and so that's definitely been a favorite thing. We went with a hybrid. We're really happy with it, and yeah, it's just nice to have a car again and to be driving again. Another favorite thing from 2021 are the road trips that we've gone on. We have done quite a lot of road tripping around the Greater Toronto area, just honestly just as a thing to do this year, just to check out some small towns and just to kind of explore the area. We have been to Stratford, we did St. Jacobs, although I've been there before. We did Elora, we did the Elora Gorge, we went river tubing there. Oh my gosh, we've done so many small towns. We did Paris, Ontario. We did a lot, but I can't remember all of the names of them. My next favorite thing from 2021, moving on to some actual objecty things, is my slow cooker. This was actually a Christmas gift that I got, and I finally have a slow cooker again. I used to use one a few years back, and but I don't have that one anymore, and so it's nice to finally have one. I've got something cooking in there today. I've got I'm gonna do like a slow cooked chicken tacos, but yeah, slow cookers are so great. You can just pop some things in there in the morning and let it cook all day. So I'm really excited to start making some slow cooker meals. Very excited about this. My next favorite thing is actually this mug here. So in a lot of my videos, I've shared this mug. A lot of you guys know about this one. This is my favorite mug ever, which was a gift from an old coworker of mine. Her sister is a potter, and she had gifted this to me. But earlier this year in January for my birthday, she gifted me another one. Unfortunately, her sister doesn't sell them. I'm sorry. But she gifted me another one, and I now have two favorite mugs, and I use them for like two totally different types of teas usually, or drinks. It's kind of funny how we do that. Like with certain mugs, we like only drink certain things out of them. My next favorite thing from 2021 is our little lemon tree that we got. This was a wedding gift actually from my good friend. She gave us a little lemon tree that I've got over there on a little plant stand. And we had it actually outside in the backyard during the summertime when the weather was warmer, but we've brought it in now that it's gotten cooler, and it's doing really well. It's been blooming, which is so exciting. It started to bloom little flowers. I think I need to pollinate it though, or yeah, I'm pretty sure I need to do that in order to help it to grow lemons. I don't know when it'll grow lemons, but definitely flowers are blooming, so that's been exciting. My next favorite thing from 2021 has been my beauty blender. I never, ever used to use anything like this for applying like my makeup, my foundation, but I got it for my wedding actually back in June because I thought it would be like a more professional way to do my makeup because I did my own makeup. And ever since, I just love this thing. It just helps makeup to apply so much more evenly. You just wet it and then it expands, and I just love it. It's like my new favorite little tool. I've also been loving this jojoba oil, which I've used on and off for years, but especially in recent months, like the winter time, this has been so helpful because I always get pretty dry skin in the winter, but even just generally, I usually have more dry skin, but I've had some dry patches on my back, and this has been so helpful. My next favorite thing from 2021 would be our linen bed sheets that we got. We got some new bed sheets, a new duvet cover, and new linen sheets. I've had a linen duvet cover in the past for many years, but we definitely needed a new one. So we got a new one. We also got the bed sheets as well, are linen, which I've never slept on linen sheets. I've always had cotton, but they're actually so comfortable, and it's just been nice to kind of freshen up the bedroom and get some new fresh sheets. So we've been loving that as well. I had to go get this coat. This is my next favorite thing, is this Pea Coat, which I think I shared this in a video, but this is a new Pea Coat that I got, and I love it. It's actually from Banana Republic, but I got it from ThredUp, which is just like an online thrift store. But yeah, I've been using this a lot. I just think it's so fun and cute, and it's been really nice to wear in the fall and winter. The next thing that I've been loving from 2021 is Reddit, the website Reddit. I just love Reddit. It is the best. I have really found it to be just like a fun and useful website to go on for joining different communities and different kind of like forums almost, and on all different kinds of subjects. I don't know, I just really like Reddit. If you also use Reddit, then maybe you would know what I mean about how great it can be. If you've never heard of Reddit, I don't even really know how to explain it, but it's just, you can just go on there and look up anything really, join different communities on like literally any topic, and yeah, quite like Reddit. My next favorite thing would be the show on Netflix, Maid. This definitely tops my list of like one of the best shows I've watched in a really long time. Well, no, that's a lie. I've watched some good shows over the past year or two, but Maid was excellent on Netflix. Highly recommended if you haven't seen it. Really good story as well. It's got like a bit of an intense storyline in some ways, but fantastic acting. Just a really good show. I highly recommend it. Maid. My next favorite thing, this is kind of a weird thing that ended up happening this year, is, so this is my iPod Nano from so many years ago. I don't even know, 2008, 2009 maybe, little yellow iPod Nano. And probably about 10 years ago or so, I had a whole bunch of music on here, but I had put a bunch of meditation music on here that I used to listen to a lot when I would meditate and paint, and it was just a time in my life where I just felt very connected spiritually, and I don't know. And so anyway, I had like really specific songs on here that I had downloaded or whatever. But over the years, I lost the charger cable to it. And so I haven't been able to listen to these specific songs in a long time. And I had, tried searching for them. I couldn't find them. So anyway, basically I got myself this cable to charge the iPod, and I have finally been able to listen to the songs again, and it's been really neat to the memories that come back. When you just haven't heard a song in a really long time, and then you hear it again, and you're like, oh my god, it was kind of like that. But they were like meditation songs specifically, just like really nice ambient songs basically. And then of course also lots of other songs on there too, which is kind of cool to like look back and see what I was listening to like over 10 years ago. My next favorite thing, a couple of food things. Basically, okay, my friend, she introduced me to, I don't know if she drinks, I think she was drinking coffee with oat milk, but I don't drink coffee, but I love like a black tea, like an orange Pea Coat tea or an English breakfast tea. And so I was visiting her and I had some tea with oat milk, and it was so good. It became one of my new favorite teas to drink, but specifically with this oat milk. This is by Earth's Own, just unsweetened original oat milk, and it is so good. Like, it's really, really good. That I specifically drink in this mug actually. And yes, I've just been loving that. I do have a decaf orange Pea Coat tea as well, because I try not to go overboard with caffeine. I get really jittery from it, but I can't help it. Sometimes I just love a classic orange Pea Coat tea or an English breakfast tea with oat milk. It's just really good. Another favorite food thing from this year is like a Lentil Dahl, which is an Indian dish, and it is so good. I've made this quite a few times this year, I guess more in recent months, but it's basically just red lentils and coconut milk and different spices like garam masala, turmeric, there's tomatoes in it, but you can make it a bunch of different ways. But yes, been loving that. We eat it with rice and some naan bread. Yeah, that's been like a favorite of mine from this year in terms of recipes, and just like one that I've added to our like weekly rotation has been Lentil Dahl. It's really, really good. Okay, just a couple more things that I want to talk about in this video. So the next one is getting back into doing artwork. This has been so exciting for me. Back in November, me and my husband Sean just kind of got on this subject of what we could do with this space in our basement. There's like a corner of our basement where we didn't know what to do with kind of the empty space there. And it just sort of came up in conversation that, oh my gosh, I could bring all of my art supplies down there and like turn it into an art studio, which I've never had my own art studio before. Although I have done art, so much art over the years, and I have so many art supplies. And so all of a sudden, part of the basement turned into an art studio, and I started doing art again. And it has been so good for my soul. It's just been so nice to do it and to get back into my element with that. Painting and drawing and sketching and all of these things just feels so good. Something that comes really naturally to me. And the last thing that I'll talk about here, this is definitely more personal, but and I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about it, but I think I'll just mention it because it was a big part of 2021. More so something that I guess learned about myself. So something that I've struggled with my whole entire life ever since I was a little girl, but finally got a diagnosis for is ADHD. And this is something that has always been a huge insecurity of mine, never something I want to talk about with people. I was assessed for it when I was around 11 or 12 and was given a different diagnosis, but I decided that I wanted to just pursue an assessment as an adult because of the many ways that I've struggled over the years as an adult. So that's that. So if you don't know what ADHD is, it stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Yes, ADD used to be one of the other terms for an attention deficit disorder that is now under the umbrella of ADHD. And so I was diagnosed with moderate combined type ADHD, which means both inattentive and like hyperactive tendencies. And yeah, it's a big whole thing, and there's so much I could say about it. Really, it deserves its own like video or blog post, and maybe at some point I'll go into more detail about it and how it affects me day to day and how it has always affected me ever since I was really young. I'm not really sure really necessarily what people think of when they think of ADHD, but I think it can be common to think of being like really hyper and like running around, like not being able to focus on anything, but it's really an issue with managing attention. So getting distracted easily absolutely is like something that's always been a problem for me in my life, but also just like having trouble managing my attention in the sense that like it's not so much that I can't focus on things sometimes, it's more so that like everything catches my attention. So it's like I'm constantly being like doing one thing and then the next thing and then not completing things, and then I'm doing something and then I forgot I'm doing it, and then like it, you know, it's that and issues with my executive function and being able to prioritize things and organize things, and emotional dysregulation as well, and anxiety and like racing thoughts. There's a lot that goes into the umbrella of ADHD and the many ways it can present itself. But anyway, so that was a big part of my year this year. And lastly, something that I have learned is, I don't know if it's something that, yeah, I guess kind of. I feel like I've noticed within myself a bit of a shift in maybe caring less about things that don't really matter. I've always had a tendency to like, I don't know, just care about things that don't really matter, or perfectionism has always been something I've struggled with too in my life. And I feel like I've made some shifts this year, especially over like maybe in more recent months, with just feeling like, I don't know, being able to let go more easily, which has been so liberating, and just recognizing what does and doesn't really matter. I feel like that has been kind of a notable part of my 2021, and so it's been a good feeling. So I'm, you know, looking forward to entering 2022 with that in mind as well. Is just, yeah, letting go of stuff that doesn't matter as much and focusing on what does actually matter, for sure. But yeah, I think I want to end this video just by saying that 2021 was a big year. It was a really big year. A lot of big stuff happened in my personal life, and, you know, exciting things, and even overcoming quite a bit of like recurrent depression that I was experiencing for quite a while. I feel by far the most content and fulfilled and like at peace in my life now than I probably ever have before. I just feel, yeah, I feel like I'm in a really good place, and I'm really looking forward to 2022. I think it's going to be a great year as well, hopefully. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and kind of sitting down with me as I chat. I hope you enjoyed this kind of casual video. It's nice to just sort of sit down and talk, you know. I don't always do this in videos, but it's nice. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and Happy New Year. I'll see ya in the next one.